Alright, so this video is about right foot bass drum technique. And the first part of the video is a clip of me playing with a camera down by the bass drum so you can see what my foot looks like. And then stick around for after that clip to listen to my ramble about what this technique actually consists of and what it looks like and what you can do to make this work for yourself. Alright, here's the clip. Alright, so right foot bass drum position technique. Number one, play heel up. The heel can come down if it wants to. And number two, the beater of the bass drum comes off of the head every time you hit the drum. We're not leaving the beater, mushing the beater into the head, or burying the beater, as we usually say, into the head. So those are the two most important things. Playing heel down is an option where your whole foot is on the pedal the whole time and your heel never lifts up. That is an option, but if you need power and volume from your bass drum, which you will at some point, that method isn't going to work so good. Heel up can give you tons of power, but you can also play very quietly, so it's a more versatile way of playing the bass drum pedal. And as far as the beater goes, we don't want to leave it into the head, and you will see a lot of great drummers that play this way, but it's not versatile, because if you play on a drum like I was just playing, a little 18-inch jazz drum with no muffling, and it's tuned up high, and it's got this ring and boominess to it, which you probably want occasionally. If you bury that beater into the head, it's gonna choke the drum. It might even dribble, and you'll get like this nasty buzz sound, especially if you were using a plastic or a wood beater, for example. You're gonna have problems on those drums. The guys that leave the beater on the head, usually there's a hole in the front of the head, so the air gets out very quickly, and it's got a lot of muffling in it. It has like a towel or a pillow inside the drum, and it's tuned really low, and it's just super dead and dry. And in that case, it doesn't matter as much. But, like I said, it's not a versatile technique, and a lot of guys that play that way, they're stuck playing that way. They don't know how to take the beater off the head. So like I said, when they get on like a jazz kick drum, they're going to have problems. So you saw the clip of me playing. That's what my foot looks like. Now, you know, I think this is a very personal thing, and all our feet are going to look kind of different. The most important thing to remember is just, like I said, heel up. It can come down if it wants to between beats, and the beater comes off the head. Now, if you're not used to playing this way, it probably will take a while to get used to playing this way, because you kind of have to suspend your right leg in the air to some degree, and it's going to feel like there's a balance issue, and you might feel like you're going to fall off your throne and all this kind of stuff. I will say one thing that helps with that is having a little bit more spring tension in your kick drum pedal, so it's not the action of the pedal, it's not super loosey-goosey. It's a little bit stiffer, so that extra little spring tension will actually kind of help hold your leg up, believe it or not, a little bit. I'm not cranking the spring tension, like I don't want it super stiff, but it's kind of probably right in the middle of like most bass drum pedals where the spring tension would be, and that will help. Okay, so when I talk about spring tension in your bass drum pedal, it's basically this mechanism in here, and every bass drum pedal is going to have something that looks like this. This spring controls how the pedal feels under your foot, if it feels stiff and firm or if it feels light and fast. And so basically, like I said, if you're new to heel up, beater off the head technique, having a little bit more spring tension here and getting a little stiffer feel in the pedal will actually help your balance a little bit. And basically there's two nuts. There's a top nut here and then a bottom nut here. And so first you have to loosen up the top nut, and then you can adjust your spring tension with this bottom nut. So if I wanted it to be more stiff, I would want to tighten this so that the spring expands more, creating more tension in the spring and then in the pedal as well. That'll give me a stiffer feel. The opposite would be the case if you want a lighter, faster feel. So you'd actually loosen this and have the spring contract. Okay, and then, you know, where you get it, when you get it to a point that you like, just make sure to tighten that top nut back into the bottom nut so you got this nice tight sandwich here, and that'll keep your spring tension from changing. Okay, so that's the basic adjustment there. And then it's just a matter of getting used to it. If you're not used to it, it might take 2 or 3 months of practicing it before it feels okay. And I think that's a hurdle worth jumping over, because then you'll have just killer, flawless bass drum technique, which will be versatile for any kind of musical situation. Now, one other thing worth mentioning, looking down here, is where is your foot on the pedal? Is it way up here, or is it way down here, or is it somewhere in the middle? Obviously, if our heel is up, we're kind of on the ball of our foot, so not necessarily the toes, but kind of more the ball. So where are you putting the ball of your foot? That's what I'm getting at here. This basically comes down to how loud you want to play and how much control you may need for whatever beats you're playing. So you can watch the clip of me just playing again, and I demonstrated some low volume playing and some loud playing. So basically when I play low volume, my foot's going to come further up the pedal. It can go all the way up to where the chain is if it needs to, and that makes the pedal feel lighter and faster, and it's not as much effort to actually push down the pedal. And I'm able to play very quiet that way without a lot of effort, and I'm able to have a lot of control over the notes that I play. I can play busier patterns if I want to by bringing my foot further up. In contrast to that, if I bring my foot way like back here, which I probably did in that little video clip, I do play back here quite often, actually. And this gives me more leverage over the pedal. So I'm able to play really, really loud if I want to. And I've gotten used to playing back here so much that the control is almost as good as being up here for me. So I end up playing back here a lot of times, sometimes even if I don't need the volume, because you never know. I might need the volume in a second, and if my foot's already there, I'm already in position. If not, you know, I'm probably somewhere in the middle most of the time, this kind of the sweet spot. Okay? So, groovy. That's the basics on right foot bass drum position technique. And good luck. Stick with it. It's worth the effort if you're not playing this way. And I will see you in the next video.